Indiana's Power Move, nuclear energy in the spotlight, the state's newest initiative for Hoosier communities, what's at stake and the potential economic payoff, the 4-pack in Columbus, Indiana, what it is and why it's a key part of the city's downtown development strategy, plus how Hoosier innovation in Southeast Indiana is boosting health science in outer space. We'll explore Redwire's newest mission. And as the calendar turns, we're taking inventory on Indiana's economy. Eli Lilly, one of many Indiana companies making headlines in the first half of the year. We'll look at what's next on this edition of Inside Indiana Business.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gerry Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and the Indiana Association of Realtors.
There is no place in the world that has prosperity if you do not have robust energy infrastructure. And so that is our vision for Indiana.
The new power push to meet the rising demands for electricity through what experts call a second renaissance for nuclear energy. Hi, I'm Mitch Frazier, in for Gerry Dick. Integrated energy generation campuses like this could be a part of Indiana's economic future, placing power generation from small modular nuclear reactors near sources of high energy demand from things like data centers and large industrial users. It's a concept that Indiana's Secretary of Energy and Natural Resources, Susie Jaworski, shared as she unveiled Indiana's Advanced Nuclear Ready Communities program on stage this week at IBJ Media's Nuclear Energy and the AI Future event. Indiana making energy a priority. It's a plan that could have a big economic payoff.
When you have a nuclear plant in your community, that brings 400 to 700 permanent jobs to the community.
At our IBJ Media Nuclear Energy and the AI Future event this week, state leaders announced a new initiative called the Advanced Nuclear Ready Community Program.
This is what we want to do so that these hubs are placed in local areas where they want them. They're celebrated.
It's billed as a first of its kind in the nation. It's a program that enables communities to earn one of 3 levels of readiness based on community support, site characteristics, workforce, and regulatory review.
We very well could be that state that is out there first, benefits from it, and hopefully sets the example what other places can do.
The announcement of the Nuclear Ready Community Program comes as leaders across the country work to meet a growing demand for electricity that tech consulting firm ICF estimates could grow 39% by 2035 in the U.S. alone. That's a big shift. Energy demand was essentially flat over the past 2 decades in the U.S., and now leaders are looking to nuclear as part of the solution to meet that growing demand. It's one driven by energy-intensive data centers that power artificial intelligence and in the growth of businesses and industries across America.
When you think about infrastructure build-out, both the data center industry and the nuclear industry are on this upswing. There's a lot of synergy there as nuclear and all of the good about nuclear, safe, baseload, always on power. That's so well suited to the needs of data centers and the AI industry writ large.
Meeting emerging electricity needs is a challenge critical to the health of the economy and national security. Here to share more about Indiana's strategy to lead in this area is Jon Ford. He's Executive Director of the Office of Energy Development. Jon, it is fantastic to see you.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, Jon, we spent quite a bit of time with industry leaders, experts all around the globe this week, and what became really clear is this energy challenge that is before us. This isn't unique to Indiana, but it is a challenge that Indiana believes it's uniquely positioned to solve. Why?
I think from day one, the Braun administration has been dialed in that we need affordable, abundant energy, and we have had a few executive orders that put in place a 5-year energy plan. We are located in the central part of the country, so a lot of energy runs through our state, our permitting process that we've put in place. And then I think the bold vision the governor set out for nuclear energy has really created a lot of momentum and enthusiasm that we're feeling.
There's one piece that came across this week so clear, this framing of nuclear's second renaissance. I thought such a powerful statement. As we look at what's driving nuclear, Why this moment? Why is now? What is it that's about this moment right now that's driving nuclear as a priority?
So we're seeing all the demand signals, right? We have large off-takers that need energy at higher levels than we've ever seen before. The electrification of our communities with EVs and our more cell phone data, our also usage of just energy across the table has increased. So it's sending that demand signal, and we have people who are willing to pay to develop new forms of energy.
When you look at this rising energy demand, Jon, I think it's really one of the big drivers, one of the wins in the sail, if you will, for what Secretary Jaworski announced this week, the new Advanced Nuclear Ready Community Program. A lot of economic developers, a lot of municipalities looking at what this means. Walk us through just a quick summary of what this program is and what it could mean for cities, communities, and leaders all across the state.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of communities reach out and say they would like to be the first to have nuclear in Indiana. And so we really developed a program that would let the conversation start at the community level, at the grassroots level, right? And in people's living room, coffee shops, and also at restaurants and rotaries. And so this program is a 3-tier system where it starts with the community conversation, what nuclear is, what nuclear isn't, and then steps all the way up to the permitting from the federal level. And we will help them all the way through that process. But I think a key factor is they have to self-identify, right? This isn't a top-down. They have to say, we're interested, we want to have community conversations.
Well, Jon, this is a story we look forward to following, looking forward to see this program come to light. Really appreciate Jon Ford, Executive Director of the Office of Energy Development here in Indiana. Thanks so much for spending time with us.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Another tie to the state's growing energy economy, this time in Northeast Indiana, where SDI Lafarga Copper Works is investing $32 million to expand operations at its facility in New Haven. The company, a joint venture between Fort Wayne-based Steel Dynamics and the Lafarga Group, makes copper rod and wire for the energy and industrial markets. Copperworks says the expansion will include adding more jobs. Up next, surging sales in Indiana. We look at what's driving home sales in the state. Plus, Columbus, Indiana's bold new downtown redevelopment plan, how it could pay off in boosting the city as a work, live, and play destination.
West Central Indiana is essential to Indiana's future. Join IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the state of Indiana to explore regional growth Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute for Innovate West Central Indiana, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Featuring Governor Mike Braun and business and community leaders, join us at the Indiana State University Holman Center Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
The Hoosier housing market appears to be making a rebound. The Indiana Association of Realtors says 2026 could be the most active year since 2022. New data released this week shows new listings and the state median sales price are both up 5% compared to last year, with an average median price of $275,000. Drilling deeper on where buyers and sellers are doing business in Indiana, rural and suburban communities experienced the most positive year-over-year home sales growth. St. Joseph, Elkhart, Howard, and Vigo counties seeing the sharpest increase in median sales price. In terms of price points, Bloomington and Indianapolis continue to claim the top 2 spots of the state's most expensive housing markets. Driving the growth, mortgage rates for the first half averaged 6.25% on a weekly basis in 2026. That's more than 50 basis points below 2025. Home sales spiking nearly 8% in Columbus, and city leaders have a new plan to attract more people to live, work, and play there. Here to explain what's happening ahead for Columbus is its mayor, Mary Ferdon. Mary, it is great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Mitch.
You have such an interesting position in Indiana, a city of about 53,000 people, 45 miles-ish south of Indianapolis. Renowned for your architecture, you've been named a best place to live in the state, in the nation. You just announced a downtown redevelopment project, we're calling the 4-Pack.
Right.
Tell us what's that project about, what's driving it?
Sure, so a little bit of context. So last year we started something called Columbus Downtown 2030. What do we want to look like in 5 years, right? Knowing it might take a little bit longer. And it's Columbus, and so we have to use the Columbus way, which means everybody's got to weigh in. We hired a great design firm, Sasaki. We spent a year, we had 5,000 people inputting, and we came up with like what we want the future to look like for downtown Columbus. And we've really divided it kind of in two areas. And you mentioned a 4-Pack. We also call it Finish on 4th.
Okay.
Because 4th is our entertainment corridor. But what we have is, we have these great recommendations that came out of our plan, and we're really fortunate because we own these properties, right? They're in friendly hands. And so out of that came some really wonderful recommendations. And we recently released a request for qualifications. And so we are anxiously awaiting what we're going to hear back from some lead developers on who gets to help us make this plan work.
There is so much happening in Columbus. Next week marks a big milestone for the city. You're home to Cummins, the global engine generation company that is just iconic across the country. Next week, making a big move with the Advanced Machine and Vehicle Innovation Center, AMVIC is what we're calling it. How do you see this center really playing a role in the future of not just mobility and electrification and energy, but really in the future of your city's, that region's economy?
Right, as you know, that 40% of our gross domestic product is in manufacturing. So we always lean on that. And what we love about AMVIC, and it is a mouthful, is that it's a nonprofit. It's local businesses and post-secondary schools, as well as government, have formed it to really look at clean technology, clean power, and it fits with what we already do. So yeah, next week they do the grand opening, but it focuses on power generation, clean power generation, battery storage. It focuses on what I feel really important is workforce technology and the next move. I recently was appointed to the state's Workforce Development Board, and workforce is what it's about. We can develop all these new technologies, and that's wonderful, and we're excited about it, but then we have to retrain and retool our employees, and so that's a really important part of AMVIC.
It's going to be an important part of AMVIC, important part of the future, an important part of Indiana's economy. Mayor Ferdon, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Also south of Indianapolis, mega travel center Buc-ee's is hitting the fast lane in Indiana. Despite concerns about traffic, the Greenwood Planning Commission is giving the green light to build the first Buc-ee's in the state. At the Worthsville Road exit, the measure now goes to the Greenwood City Council for a vote. And another big travel center brand on the way to take the place of a now closed iconic restaurant in Mooresville. Wawa planning to build a new store at the site of the old Gray Brothers, which had served the community for more than 80 years before the Gray family shut down the operation just a little over a year ago. Still ahead, a big day for global chip maker planting seeds in Indiana, and how a company in southeast Indiana's work is in space and is now entering a new chapter here in Indiana. More on how Redwire's high-tech innovation is advancing in Floyd County. It's coming up next.
The real estate market is always changing. Working with a realtor means staying a step ahead. Here's a housing update from your Indiana Realtors.
Listings dipped by 2% compared to last May, as leading indicators were dampened by rates over 6.5% and climbing economic and global risk. Pendings still ended the month up 4% year over year. Sales continued to build pace, ending at 5% up year over year. We averaged almost 16,000 available homes through May. Inventory grew, but the growth rate fell from 14% to 12%. Prices are up 5% year over year, a little faster price growth than we've seen in recent months. Half of listings are under contract in 2 weeks, but this is climbing. New contracts are trending down over recent weeks, which bodes poorly for June sales totals. 42% of listings have dropped their price, and this rate is climbing.
Challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
faster
businesses
among
need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Brian.
I'm Devin.
A smoother ride is on the horizon for drivers on I-64 in southeast Indiana. INDOT crews starting construction this week on a $312 million project to improve the stretch between US 150 and Main Street in New Albany. The goal is to bring added capacity, improve safety, and upgrades to the corridor in Floyd County. The project is expected to take more than 3 years to complete. Also in Floyd County, Redwire, a space and defense tech company that designs and builds spaceflight research and manufacturing payloads, is advancing innovation on Earth and in space with its new facility in southeast Indiana. The company will cut the ribbon Monday on its new space research and manufacturing facility in Georgetown. That's just about 10 miles north of Louisville. A major piece of that new center is a payload operations control center where employees can talk live and work with astronauts on the International Space Station. Redwire's 3D bioprinter, created by Hoosiers, is currently at the International Space Station. It was the first to print a human knee meniscus in space. On Earth, 3D printed tissue is so soft that it collapses under its own weight, but printing soft tissue in space eliminates the pull of gravity. Redwire has multiple sites in U.S., but the Floyd County location focuses mostly on life sciences and medical-related projects that send devices into space.
So we've always known that everything we need to be wildly successful, everything we need to positively impact the world, we have right here in Indiana. And I think to think that we are a state that is talking to the International Space Station right now, the fact that we are a state that when we team together, we're unbeatable. We're working with Purdue University, Butler University right now on some in-space pharmaceutical manufacturing projects that we've even looped in Eli Lilly on. So what a dream team, Purdue, Butler, Lilly, and Redwire now have got together everything we need to make better drugs in space that can make life better for anybody, everyone on Earth.
2 astronauts from southern Indiana, Charlie Walker and Ken Bowerstocks, are expected to be part of the ribbon-cutting event next week. To job growth in northwest Indiana, USCO Industries investing $25 million to move its national headquarters over the border from Illinois to Hammond. The facility will be home to the most of its manufacturing operations. The company, which makes overhead cranes for manufacturing facilities, is expected to add 100 new jobs. A giant in the AI semiconductor industry, SK Hynix, is working to build its first U.S. operations in West Lafayette. The South Korea-based company made news this week on one of the world's largest financial stages.
Today is a truly historic day for SK Hynix.
Shares of SK Hynix stock rose 14% shortly after the company celebrated its initial public offering on Wall Street. The company has started building a nearly $4 billion facility in Tippecanoe County, which is expected to open in 2028. Up next, we're looking ahead on the newsmakers of the year gone by and what's ahead in the second half of the year. And we'll take a look at what's adding up to drive big business coming up next. We are bringing the power of this to this. With a new IBJ Media app, for the first time ever, you'll be able to get the Indiana Lawyer, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indianapolis Business Journal all in one place wherever you go. All across the state of Indiana, IBJ Media provides the news you need to know, and we're doing it now directly to your phone. To be a part of this, you can find it on your favorite app store. Just search IBJ Media.
The challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
faster
businesses
among
need help.
Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
The real estate market is always changing. Working with a realtor means staying a step ahead. Here's a housing update from your Indiana Realtors.
Listings dipped by 2% compared to last May, as leading indicators were dampened by rates over 6.5% and climbing economic and global risk. Pendings still ended the month up 4% year over year. Sales continued to build pace, ending at 5% up year over year. We averaged almost 16,000 available homes through May. Inventory grew, but the growth rate fell from 14% to 12%. Prices are up 5% year over year, a little faster price growth than we've seen in recent months. Half of listings are under contract in 2 weeks, but this is climbing. New contracts are trending down over recent weeks, which bodes poorly for June sales totals. 42% of listings have dropped their price, and this rate is climbing.
In Northwest Indiana, the Ports of Burns Harbor is currently undergoing a $100 million expansion. New docks, rail yards, and buildings are all part of the project. The upgrades come with a new chapter for the facility focused on container shipping.
Shipping containers handle 60% of world trade moving on our oceans across the world. We don't handle any. And we have been approved now by Customs to open a container terminal at Burns Harbor. And we are planning a trial shipment toward the end of this year to be our first ever export. And this is significant because Indiana doesn't have a container terminal anywhere on water.
The Northwest Indiana Port isn't the only one seeing investment. Last week, the Ports of Indiana was awarded its largest ever federal grant for an expansion project at the Jeffersonville Port. That will increase the port's lift capacity from 335 to 300 tons. Well, we've made it. We're just a little past halfway through 2026. It's an ideal time to hit pause, hit rewind, and fast forward and look at what's to come on Indiana's economic future.
People think you're good at something, or you're not. But really, you set a goal and you show up.
Indianapolis-based pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly putting Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark to work to spread the word on the importance of healthcare. Lilly coming out of the gate strong in 2026, flexing its muscle in the emerging weight loss market. Lilly's two drugs, Zepbound and Mounjaro, driving big growth. Through the first quarter, Lilly reported a 56% increase in revenue, which adds up to nearly $20 billion in growth. The Chicago Bears' possible move to build a new $2 billion stadium in Hammond has also dominated the headlines so far this year. The team is advancing plans to move the Bears to Northwest Indiana, but the deal's not been finalized. Another business story moving the needle, the transformative data center and AI boom. The big names Amazon, Google, Meta, they all have an eye on Indiana for development, billions of dollars at stake. And in the Hoosier capital, a new addition to the Indianapolis skyline, the $510 million Signia Hotel, 37 stories tall, 800 rooms, with an opening date coming sooner than later. A lot of momentum headed into the second half of the year, but what about the second half? Who better to break down what we might expect in the half year to come than my friend and colleague, Lesley Weidenbener, editor and assistant publisher of the Indianapolis Business Journal. Lesley, it's great to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
Well, we have a lot to think about when we look at the second half of 2026. Perhaps the biggest news as it comes to economic development and the future of business in Indiana is our new Secretary of Commerce.
Yeah, we're talking about Chuck Goodrich, who has been the CEO and owner for some time now of Gaylor Electric. He's a former state lawmaker who has a lot of experience in the world of workforce. And so I think it's an interesting pick.
Interesting pick. Chuck, also a former state rep, also a guy who's been very, very, very optimistic about the future of Indiana, made big investments himself. Should be a really interesting story to watch.
I think so, and I think his legislative experience is going to really come in handy. I don't know that the Braun administration has really had that great of a relationship so far with lawmakers. They don't really understand what he's doing in terms of economic development, and I think this could go a long way into smoothing things for him and take the state, frankly, give a little more confidence to the business community about what's happening at the IEDC.
Well, when you look at all things State House, we have to look at the Secretary of State's race. This has been an office that hasn't been at the top of the ticket, and it's an area this year that's taking a lot of attention as we've seen the Republicans move from their current office holder, Diogo Morales, to a new office, a potential office holder, a candidate on the Republican side, Max Engling.
A few months ago, it seemed like the Republicans were going to re-nominate Diego Morales.
That's right.
But they decided to go in a different direction at the last minute. Max Engling is a former staffer for Senator Banks, and so he comes in with a lot of that endorsement and with some momentum there. But he faces a tough race, tougher than a Republican normally would.
Yeah, this isn't just a Republican-Democrat race this year. There's a third party that it's becoming part of this mix.
Yeah, former Indianapolis Mayor Ballard is in this race, and he has shown that he can get some attention. He can raise some money. He did raise the most money during this last quarter, but I have to say it's Democrat Bo Bai who has by far the most money on hand. And of course, he has name recognition that's greater than either of the other two.
Lesley Weidenbener, editor and assistant publisher of the Indianapolis Business Journal. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks so much, Mitch.
Look forward to keeping track of these stories and more in the Indianapolis Business Journal here in Inside Indiana Business. One big story next week, Lesley and our entire IBJ Media team will unveil our annual list of the 250 most influential leaders in Indiana. It'll be a big event. We'll also welcome the return of the legendary Gerry Dick, who will be back on set next week as host. And speaking of legends, Gerry Dick and Beyonce. Beyonce's dad, Matthew Knowles, is set to receive the Carolyn Mosby Award for Above and Beyond for his work on advocating for breast cancer awareness in men during Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration, which is getting in full swing this weekend. And with that, we'll leave you with one of Beyonce's biggest hits. I'm Mitch Frazier, in for Gerry Dick. Make it a great week.
And they didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm...
West Central Indiana is essential to Indiana's future. Join IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the state of Indiana to explore regional growth Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute for Innovate West Central Indiana, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Featuring Governor Mike Braun and business and community leaders, join us at the Indiana State University Holman Center Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
Been a while. What have you been up to?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I see it's not flossing. I just added some secret weapons to my toolkit.
Huh?
They help me drill down further, digging deeper than I ever could before. Into my business and personal finances with Lake City Bank Digital.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now let's take care of that tooth.
Add sharper tools for your money with Lake City Bank Digital.
You are all set, Ryan.
I'm Devin.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.